Hi, I'm Marc,
Aryeh.
and you're back with a Coinversation, and we're going to do another Tweets of the Week.
Just our tweets that we found to be the best tweets this week, and we're going to discuss them, discuss what needs to be discussed, loll at what needs to be lolled, and even ruffle if necessary. Have a few of those left in me.
Please
I just learned a bunch of words, whatever. Anyway, so we're just gonna jump in, basically show some different tweets that we heard. Okay, so our first one we got is from /r/Bitcoin.
That's Reddit.
Yeah.
That's
that Reddit?
The Bitcoin subthread on Reddit.
There you go. It's the Bitcoin subthread on Reddit. Maybe we should start over.
I think we should keep that in. In fairness, Aryeh doesn't deal with Reddit. He deals with
I never dealt with Reddit. Okay, fine. Anyway, they were just talking about. They posted an article about the tweet is Pirate Bay wins Icelandic election. Bitcoin on roadmap to becoming legal tender, which is obviously a huge milestone in Bitcoin. I think it's awesome and. First of all, going for something called the Pirate Party is obviously fun, because that's cool. Rum.
Shiver me timbers.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So the Pirate Party, funnily enough, I actually watched a documentary this week on the Pirate Bay and how they set up the Pirate Party. So basically what happened was the government cancelled off their hosting by blocking their ISP, which was black internet. So
yeah, like 100 times. They had to keep changing their URL and everything. And
yeah, but they had a court case, convicted, blah blah blah, ISP cut off. So they set up this Pirate Party, which is basically a political party, and they formed the hosting company as part of the Pirate Party. So the idea was you can't block a political party, so they couldn't turn off the hosting. And as a result of the court case, the Pirate Party actually won 2 seats in government, and that was like 2010 or something.
Yeah.
So now they did the hosting for WikiLeaks and a whole bunch of other stuff as well, and apparently now they're legitimate.
Yeah. And they're taking the most seats in the House in Iceland now.
It's insane.
And they hugely back Bitcoin, and they're big supporters of the community. And
this started in Sweden, so Iceland's a different story. And I don't really know what their campaign agenda is, but back to the point of the tweet is these are guys who obviously believe in things, right? They have agenda, they are ideological in some way or form, and they've decided to make Bitcoin real.
Right.
And, we've seen regulation in a few countries, obviously, but the idea of it becoming actual legal tender on a national level, that's super cool.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge change, and it's going to stop all these ridiculous discussions of Bitcoin's just a fun thing that a fun $700 you throw around or whatever, and it's going to become much more legitimate and good.
We should have an episode once just about the things people say to us.
Yeah,
but let's move on.
Our other weekly episode.
Exactly, yeah.
So the next tweet comes from Constantine. If you were to buy $10 worth of Bitcoins back in 2010, it would be worth $7 million today. Which is again, just talking about the legitimacy of Bitcoin, that is a crazy figure. I mean, $7 million if you bought $10 worth of Bitcoin back then.
The takeaway for me is they were idiots. We've only been in Bitcoin since 2013. We came in at a price point about 150, but I just feel a bit stupid now.
Yeah, like those guys who laughed at salt and said it was never going to make it.
Yeah. But amazing. A couple of cents. Even we look back to 2012. What was it, $10 or something a coin, up to 700 stable.
Yeah. So,
Go Bitcoin.
Go Bitcoin. Yeah, well done. Good on you.
And my disclaimer is the price isn't everything. We say this all the time, but the price really isn't a determinant of everything. But it is nice to see it validated by a good price.
Right. And that validation mixed in the validation of a political party taking it on as their legal it's just it's
who's next? The soccer team, right?
We're off to the races.
Yeah.
We're off to the races. All we need is a NASCAR to get it on their logo. Bitcoin NASCAR, which we should talk about sponsoring.
NASCAR call us.
Next one is from Brave New Coin, and it says which this one is a fascinating question, and I don't mean to rip on this guy, but once I read the tweet, we have to rip on him a little bit. His tweet was, "Dearest Bitcoin, how long will it take for you to be as stable as fiat currency?" Which I want that guy to just read what's happening in Greece and talk to me about fiat currencies.
I actually happen to know Brave New Coin a little bit. Like, I've seen some of the stuff they post. I'm gonna guess it's tongue in cheek, like, because these guys are in the space for a while. So we can play it both ways.
Yeah.
So, you know, for people who read that and think, yeah, that's a great question. Like, when will it be stable? You know. I mean,
I don't. You can ask when it's going to be stable. That's a fair. And again, if it's tongue in cheek and if it's for laughs, then great. But if you're being serious, and it's fine to ask when it's going to be stable. But as stable as fiat currency,
100%, because that's
not so stable.
That's what everything aspires to. Nothing says stability like the Zimbabwean dollar. Like 1,000,000% inflation. I mean, I grew up in Africa, and if there's one thing Africa's known for, it's stable and strong currencies and economies.
That's what they've done best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So fiat, I mean, if we were to take an average of like fiat currencies and their levels of stability, I think it would be surprising to everyone just how volatile currency is.
For sure.
And the obvious argument would be, no, well, we're not talking about the vast majority of currencies. We're only talking about like the euro and the pound and the dollar. Everything else doesn't count. Because we just ignore it. And again, here you've got British pound, which is traditionally probably the most stable fiat currency in the world, and we have Brexit a couple of months ago.
Right.
What's it, 20% on a day?
Yeah.
A currency as big as British pounds lose 20%. I'd go so far as to say that proportionately, if Bitcoin was the size of the British pound, like had the user base or market share, I don't think that's a real word in currency, but you know what I mean. There is no chance anything would knock at 20%.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, currency is used to stabilize a lot more things than just like in a government, in a body. When the currency is controlled by a governmental body, it's used for a lot of things, right? It's used to they'll rise it when they want to. Well, they'll higher the price when they want to pump something in. They'll take it down when they want to pump something out. Whatever it is, it's like, and Bitcoin doesn't have that. So the only thing that's going to affect it is a mass actual hit of the user base.
Well, the ultimate free market.
Right,
Exactly. Behind it. I was speaking to one of our analysts the other day, and in South America at the moment there's a couple of countries with financial problems, but one in particular, and they decided to solve the problem, just going to raise taxes. Because that and the classic of let's print more money. I mean, nothing solves economic problems like just printing money, right?
It's been proven to work every time, I think, historically.
Exactly, yeah. Just look at Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're cracking to go. All right. Next one is from Henry Braid, which says, again, this one's just motivational. Happy to see it. It says Bitcoin up 1 day 3%, 1 week 11%, 1 month 18%, 3 months 32.5%, 1 year 82%, near a new 3-year high to the moon.
Wow.
Yeah, so
good on you, Henry. Shout out to Henry Braid.
Yeah, and full disclosure, we did not check any of those numbers. So you can't call us out on that. That could be totally wrong. And you can tweet Henry Braid about that. But anyway, it was great to see. And I love it says to the moon. Very exciting.
Great.
Yeah, just really a lot of enthusiasm there. That's what we want in the community. More trying, less knocking.
It has been a good couple of weeks, even a good couple of months for Bitcoin, and we saw a breakthrough, 600 support probably a month or two ago, and then the last week or so, 700, and it's stable there, and it's good to be on this side of the table this week, right?
Yeah.
At least from the comments. So it seems that the tweets we got this week were mostly about the movement in price, which I guess is understandable.
Yeah, we got one more, which is just a general question. I wanted to end on a happy note. So it's from Bitcoin Agile, and I know this is a question that's been discussed before. I just thought it'd be interesting if we can get sort of our point of view into it, which is where will a dead man's Bitcoin go? Which I thought was a good way to end all this, because it is going to end that way. That's how science works, folks. You're just going to die, whether the Bitcoin is up or down.
Is that going to affect how often the tooth fairy visits?
So. That's just the way it works. Anyway, so I thought it was just an interesting question, because
question.
when you have, some sort of, and this always goes back to the question of insurance, because like in banks you have insurance and everything. You always have estate control. Someone has control over whatever. I mean, I don't call my money an estate yet, but I'll get there one day. Anyway, but you always have someone to control and someone to pass it on to. But essentially, in Bitcoins, you have the security key, and it's just lost. And it's not like someone's going to unbury it in a treasure chest one day. If it's lost, it's lost.
Maybe the pirate party in Iceland, right?
Maybe the pirate party, yeah. Maybe that's what their real agenda is, finding dead man's chest. Yeah.
But what do you do with the private key? I mean, it's a great question, and it's a question that's come up since the beginning. Private key storage, and do we move to a world of centralized private key storage?
Right.
The idea of cold wallets deals with some of this. Crypto steel. I don't know if you guys are still around, but if you are, shout out. We were one of the crowdfunders of the original crypto steel, which is a kind of metal case with letters in it that you can store your private key in. But it is a great question. I think we could probably bequeath our private keys in wills. If we
that was definitely one of the suggestions. The first suggestion was
but there's a problem with it. There's an obvious problem with it. I mean, if we forget the the happy-go-lucky feeling of it, because nothing makes you smile like the thought of people dying, and all the jokes. I mean, there's a real practical question here, especially as it goes on. The issue with putting your private key in a will is you've essentially published your private key. So the lawyer, everyone else, all has access to it. So the way we'd have to deal with it is with multi-sig approval. So each member of your family, for example, would get a piece of the private key, and their private key would unlock a piece of the private key. So only with everyone doing it together, But this is probably not for Tweets of the Week. But join us for Multi-Sig 101 and what it means to your children.
But I just also thought that it was just an interesting, just sort of an interesting
it's a great
point. Also, just a point that people need to remember. And I don't mean to preach, but when you're part of this community of Bitcoin, especially, we're not in the beginning stages. We're off to the races, definitely, but there's still a lot more potential, with blockchain and everything. And I think it's important that people remember that every Bitcoin that's lost is a Bitcoin that's lost. It's not, it's not, you're here dealing, like I said, you're not dealing with money where your money's lost, it doesn't matter, it's replaced by thousands of dollars afterwards. Every Bitcoin is lost is Bitcoin is lost, and you should, whatever the system is, however complicated we can get into, and you can watch another one of Marc's boring videos where he explains that.
But boring, for those of you who don't understand, in Aryeh's language, it means super cool, you have to watch,
Yeah. Anyway, I just think it's very important that people remember, that we're part of this movement, and just, be safe with your Bitcoins.
Jeez, you sound like you're giving a public service announcement. Be safe. We care about you. Don't take the Bitcoins out in the rain.
Don't cross the street if you have Bitcoins.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, cross the street, but in a crosswalk. Don't not cross streets. It's an impractical way to live. Try that.
And that was another episode of How to Live Well, From the guys in the conversation who clearly aren't in control of their own lives, So, no, but it's a great tweet, and send us more. We love the funny ones, we love the quirky ones, and
and you could also join in on the Coinversation if you just comment below on any of the tweets that we spoke about today, or tweets that you saw yourself, like Marc was saying, and just get involved and tell us things we missed, or just different conversations.
We had a great comment a few weeks ago.
Which really constructive.
Exactly.
It was really constructive.
You know who you are.
Yeah.
We replied to you. We're waiting. Reply again, please.
Yeah.
But you can find all the tweets below, as well as people who tweeted them, except for /r/Bitcoin. And join us again for another conversation. I'm Marc.
Aryeh.
And be safe.
Yeah. Keep chasing the Bitcoin dream.